Hi, I'm May. In this video, we'll dive into how upbringing shapes control freaks and how they truly feel when they control others. Control freaks have more scars than comic heroes. In their early lives, they were raised either by super controlling parents or by one very controlling parent, while the other parent was absent either physically or emotionally. They received rigidity, criticism, and perfectionism from one side and zero support from the other. Their parents were just big kids who never grew up. Their unspoken plan was to raise needy, dependent children who'd be stuck at home with no choice but to stroke their parents' egos with praise and obedience. And if those kids didn't do exactly what their parents wanted, or couldn't live up to their exhausting high expectations, their parents were harsh. They'd crush their kids' self-esteem with unfair comparisons and a constant shower of negative comments about everything they do. They'll make their kids feel even more insecure and guilty by always telling them that they're flawless parents, blaming all their problems on their child. In public, their parents would love to show off their kids' achievements. But behind closed doors, they became really critical. They'd pick on their kids for even tiny mistakes and rarely give them support or encouragement. They'd scold their kids whenever they tried to share their real emotions, be it sadness, hurt, or anger. As a result, those kids grew up holding on to their emotions tight, not giving a damn about how others feel. To an outsider, this family might seem all healthy and happy, but if you dig a little, you'll find a mess of a family hiding behind fake closeness. Sometimes the parents would show extreme kindness, but it's like, I did this for you, now you owe me forever. So kids learn that love is conditional and comes with a price. Due to living with possessive, controlling parents, kids adopt one or more coping mechanisms. One kid might copy his parents and turn into a controller, believing, if I don't want to be the victim, I've got to be the one in charge. Another might take on the role of peacemaker, working hard to hold everyone together. Ironically, despite his name, this kid can't find inner peace since he constantly struggles to ignore his conscience, turning a blind eye and deaf ear to please everyone in the family. A third one might choose to speak out against the things that hurt his conscience. Sadly, that poor one ended up as the scapegoat, taking abuse from both his parents and siblings. And later, he may find himself attracted to controllers in future relationships. This family dynamic is super common with narcissistic parents. Narcissists are at the far end of the controlling spectrum. With a chaotic childhood, control freaks were left with heavy insecurities and a serious lack of self-worth. How did they cope? They tried to mask it by being domineering, but please don't confuse that with dominating. A dominant person is naturally strong. His strength comes from competence, compassion, and confidence. He doesn't need to fake it since he pretty much knows his worth. A domineering person, on the other hand, doesn't have compassion and doesn't give a damn about how others feel. He is very self-centered and only relates to his feelings. He controls to get recognition for the qualities he believes he doesn't have. He might act all big and tough, but deep down, he feels weak and immature. Control freaks soaked up their parents' irrational fears of the outside world. They controlled it to feel safe, but it was all a facade. Fake safety because it relied on external reasons, not on them actually feeling worthy or loving themselves. Controllers absolutely don't love themselves. They feel like frauds. Some controllers are good people, but they don't know it. I've worked closely with many of them, and I was truly impressed with their qualities. Sadly, their insecurities act like a layer of mud covering a shining diamond. They've got the potential to shine amazingly if they choose to confront their demons and heal. But what do? Instead of cleaning off the mud, they try to pretty it with nail polish. They control to mask their feelings of inferiority. They believe they're not good enough to be loved naturally by others, so they forcefully get love and acceptance by domineering. And that's the same reason why they crave praise, because they don't feel worthy, and the only way they can feel it is by hearing it. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. Control freaks are always on edge. The stress from trying to control the uncontrollable messes with every part of their bodies. Most of them are very anxious, depressed, or suffering from other health issues like migraines, IBS, sleep difficulties, backaches, heart problems, and high blood pressure, to name a few. They're 24/7 worried about things going wrong, that they insist on controlling every tiny detail and dictating the thoughts, feelings, reactions, and behaviors of others. I mean, seriously, it's an impossible dream to chase, and it's costing them their sanity and health. Their controlling behavior doesn't bring them genuine happiness. It's more like a sigh of relief, like when you've been chased by a tiger and finally find a hiding spot. A little taste of safety that doesn't last long in their world of make-believe danger. Now, let's be clear. Trying to understand why people control isn't about making excuses for them. It's about shining a light on just how messed up they might be inside. Keep in mind that it's not your job to fix them, and you can't change someone who doesn't want to change. Controllers believe they're right all the time, and there's nothing wrong with their behavior. It takes a lot of work to make them aware of how they're destroying other people's lives. And even being aware certainly isn't enough. They've got to mix that awareness with a real desire for change and put in some serious deep dive therapy work to make a lasting change. If you've been overpowered and traumatized by your abusive, toxic partner, whether it's been a few months or years, you can heal both your trauma and those persistent stress-related symptoms. I've guided tons of people through situations just like yours, helping them get back on their feet, strong, motivated, and energized in as little as 1 to 3 sessions. Drop me an email at info@wakefieldtherapy.com and let's schedule a free consultation to craft your personalized healing plan.